Let's go to some other issues. I know we've talked about Australia Day a lot, but it's really got under my skin. I'm passionate about it. I know you are too. I read all the feedback you send me in. And so too is my next guest, a Vietnam veteran, war veteran, Military Cross recipient, someone who's proudly served Australia and celebrates our national holiday every year without fail. That's why when Michael Von Berg saw that the Waverley Council in Sydney's eastern suburbs planned to hold a dawn service featuring a welcome to country, a smoking ceremony and traditional dancing to quote, and I read this out from the council, commemorate our First Nations community, well, he took to social media and urged them to reconsider. The Mayor of the Waverley Council defends this Morning Day dawn service because, he says, January 26 can be a difficult day for many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, many of whom, says the Mayor, are still coming to terms with the result of the Voice to Parliament referendum. Well, I'm pleased to say the Vietnam veteran who loves Australia Day, Michael Von Berg, joins me now. Michael, thank you for your time. Many of us love our country, but you've actually put your life on the line for it in a time of war. Help us understand your concern about this new dawn service on Australia Day.
Thank you, Peter. Well, the dawn service is sacrosanct to Anzac Day, and it has been for over 100 years. And for Waverley Council to call this a dawn service on Australia Day is, I think, to all veterans and all serving members, I think it's disrespectful and very disappointing.
You've said in the media to date that you fought with Aboriginal soldiers back in the 1960s in Vietnam. So how did we get to this situation, do you think, where back then they fought for Australia, they stood side by side with our uniform, wearing our uniform under our flag, but now they're told they've got to hate the flag, they've got to be ashamed of our history. How did we get to here?
Well, I'm a German-born Australian, a very proud Australian. I'm a patriot, and I find it very, very sad where young people, in particular, are being taught to hate this country, a country that's given my family and myself great opportunities. And I think there is a much deeper problem, and that is, if we ever had to fight for this country, how could you fight for this country if you hate it? I mean, when we went to war to fight for this country, to fight for the cause, to fight for our mates around us. And I might add, Peter, just very quickly, I sadly lost an Aboriginal soldier in Vietnam. And for these people just to go out and flog the country and talk it down and basically teaching people to hate this country, I think is just dreadful. It is dreadful, and it must be stopped.
What you say there about who will defend Australia in the future, Michael, if we need a defender, is so absolutely true. And I know that's something that occupies the minds of sensible politicians like the late, great Jim Moll. And I know that Tony Abbott's concerned about should we ever need to pick up arms in the future, who amongst our young people are going to love their country enough to look after it and protect it and defend it as you and others did in the past. What do you think of stores like Woolies and others, though? I mean, you fought under that flag. They're now refusing to sell any merchandise in the store with our flag on it.
Yeah, go woke, go broke. That's what I tell Woolworths. And frankly, again, to disrespect our day, our national day, to disrespect our flag, which we've all fought under, and also, I might add, we bury our dead under the flag as well. Again, I just find it terribly disappointing. And mind you, when you look at the shareholding of some of these corporates, there's no wonder that they have no national pride.
I want to get your thoughts on this one quickly. Cricket Australia effectively banning the words Australia Day during the Gabba test on Friday. But that's not how the CEO sees it. Have a listen.
We want everyone to come along and have the most fantastic time to celebrate Australia Day.
But you won't mention Australia Day.
We're seeking to be as inclusive and welcoming as possible.
All right. Well, I don't know how you're including the majority of Australians who want to celebrate the National Day.
So we are not precluding anybody celebrating Australia Day. We're not boycotting Australia Day. We're playing Test cricket on Australia Day.
I understand that you're just not mentioning it either, right?
We encourage people to come to the cricket and celebrate on Australia Day.
That was a train wreck of an interview, Michael. It was made worse then by the Australian captain, Pat Cummins, who had this to say.
I absolutely love Australia. I think it's the best country in the world by a mile, and I think we should have an Australia Day, but I think we can probably find a more appropriate day to celebrate it. I think it is hard because these, something like Jan 26, it does mean something different to different people. I think we're all in unison. We absolutely love Australia and feel really lucky and privileged to be here in this country, but it is a delicate one, and it's going to be a tough day for some.
Michael, what would you say to that?
I wish they'd stick to cricket, to be honest. I mean, those sort of comments are not endearing themselves to a lot of people who enjoy watching their cricket. And, I think so many people that I know, we're basically fed up with being told what to do, what not to do, what to drive, what not to drive. And this virtue signalling by the corporates, the sporting world, and also from sporting men and women, it just has to stop. I mean, it's not proving anything at all, and frankly, it's annoying us.
Michael Von Berg, you are in terrific form tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I can hear the audience of Credlin out there cheering you on. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.